All right. What's up, everybody? All my people in Manhattan, the Bronx, Queens, or Staten Island, my homeborough, Brooklyn. Back at another video, and as we all know, the Los Angeles Clippers defeated the Dallas Mavericks in Game 7 of the Western Conference first round. I believe the score is 126 to 111. So the Clippers are moving on to the conference semifinals, and the Mavericks are going home in the first round another year. But it's okay, Mavericks fans. Luka's only going to get better. And the team's only going to get better. Kristaps Porzingis, Tim Hardaway Jr., those got nice little sidekicks, dare I say, for Luka Doncic to have. Rick Carlisle, I think he's a very good coach. He's been with the Mavericks for a long time. They're only going to get better. And the Clippers, man, I'm happy. I'm happy for them. A lot of people, led by Shannon, not so sharp, have been clowning the Clippers and trolling them, calling them chokers ever since they blew that 3-1 lead to Denver. And it really goes back to the Lob City era. They blew it against OKC in 2014. They blew it against Houston in 2015, and so on and so forth. It became Choke City. And then last year they were up 3-1 on Denver, and Denver came back and beat them. So a lot of people have been doubting the Clippers, clowning the Clippers, Pandemic P. They call him Paul George Pandemic P. Well, Paul George really brought that on himself, but still. Kawhi Leonard, he shot that air ball in Game 5, which, could give them a 3-2 lead, and they could end it in 6, but instead they lost. Had to win a crucial Game 6, and Kawhi he killed the Mavericks in Game 6. Man, had 45 points, I believe. Kawhi played out of his mind. Okay, now in Game 7, they ended in Game 7. Kawhi, Paul George, they ended it in Game 7. Hopefully, now, to really shut up the critics and the haters, they got to go win the championship. Okay? Which I do have them going to the NBA Finals, and I'm standing by that pick. I had Clippers and Nets all season long. I'm standing by that. But they're gonna be facing the Utah Jazz, who are no slouch. They were the number 1 seed in the Western Conference in the entire NBA this year. Led by Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. I did a video saying, will the Utah Jazz win the championship? And a lot of Jazz fans were upset with me because I said they weren't, at least not this year. They're going to win. I think Donovan Mitchell is going to lead them to possibly multiple championships in the future, but, it's not going to be this year. But, all these conference semifinals matchups, East and West, they're interesting. I can't remember the last time the semifinals in every semifinal series in the East and West were interesting. You got the Clippers Jazz, which I think is going to go the full 7. The Hawks and Sixers, we all know the Hawks got Game 1. That might end up going the full 7. The Bucks and Nets are going to go the full 7. You got the Suns and Nuggets, which are going to go the full 7. Really, when was the last time every semifinals round matchup was interesting? And they might potentially all go the full 7. So the semifinals of the year are gonna be lit as hell. But I do have the Clippers winning in 7, defeating Utah Jazz in 7. But and let me say this: if the Clippers go on to win the championship this year, this might be one of the greatest playoff runs in the history of the NBA by a team. I mean, Luka Doncic, people are predicting he's gonna be the best player in the NBA one day. And the Kawhi and them beat him in the first round in 7. Donovan Mitchell is going to be looked as one of the best players in the NBA and a future multiple-time champion. They might beat him. They might. I want to specify they might beat him in 7. Then let's say they go on to face, I had the Phoenix Suns winning in 7. A lot of Nuggets fans were happy with me, but they go on to beat the Phoenix Suns in 7. You defeated the number 1 seed and the Utah Jazz, you were the number 2 seed, and the Phoenix Suns led by Devin Booker and Chris Paul. And let's say you go on to beat the Monstars, the quote-unquote super team, the Brooklyn Nets in the NBA Finals. The Clippers have a feel. They have a feel to me of the Houston Rockets back in the mid-90s. For all you who've seen the Clutch City documentary, you know what I'm referring to. The Rockets were looked at as a team known as Choke City. Choke City, every time the Rockets got in the playoffs, they blew it, they choked, they lost in the first round of the semifinals. Then in 94, Hakeem had his legendary season. He won the Defensive Player of the Year, the MVP. They defeated the Clyde Drexler Portland Trailblazers in the first round. They defeated I believe it was the Utah Jazz in the semifinals that year, and they defeated Charles Barkley's Suns in the conference finals that year. I believe they faced the Suns in the conference finals. If I'm wrong, correct me, but I believe it was the Suns. Then they went on to defeat the New York Knicks in the NBA Finals after being down 3-2. Went on with the championship. They forever became known as Clutch City. Then the next year, they were down 3-1 to Phoenix in the semifinals. Came back. They cooked Hakeem Olajuwon, humiliated David Robinson in the conference finals. Then they swept the Orlando Magic, and that cemented their legacy as clutch city. The Clippers, to me, have that kind of feel to them. This Clippers team, because we all know last year they blew the 3-1 lead to Denver, and of course, in the Lob City era, they blew the 3-1 lead to Houston. They came up small against OKC in 2014. We all know Blake would always get hurt. Chris Paul would always get hurt. Lob City became choke city. So now I think with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, they're going to change that. If they can win the championship this year and then possibly go back-to-back like Rockets did in the mid-'90s, I think they'll completely change the narrative on them. I think the Clippers are going to be the new clutch city. That's my prediction for them. If they can win the championship, but first they got to beat Utah, then they got to beat Phoenix and/or Denver, and they got to beat potentially Brooklyn. All right, but that's the vibe I'm getting from this Clippers squad. I just want to let that know. But anyway, if you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, help your young brother grow on YouTube. Comment down below. What do you think? Are the Clippers going to win 7? Are the Jazz going to win at 7? Who's going to be in the championship? Who's going to win the championship? Who's going to be in the finals this year? Tell me down below. All right, see you all.